In today's video, we have over 10 airsoft guns included in these two mystery boxes, but there's a catch. These mystery boxes are cursed and are full with airsoft guns with an unknown condition. We're going to be unboxing all of them and trying to find out the issues, and of course try to fix them and make them into working airsoft guns. And despite these crazy cursed airsoft mystery boxes, throughout the video we're going to still see if we come away with a profit from buying these crazy bad mystery boxes. Without further ado, let's jump straight in. So there are two main boxes in today's video. There's of course this small one that weighs in at 13 pounds that's already pretty ripped from the manufacturer. I think I opened the top just to make sure what it was, but as you can see there's some crazy dents and holes in the box, which is quite unfortunate. Let's see what we got. There's a little label right here. It says rare parts. Let's see what we got. Ooh, okay, so the first thing I personally see is an Airsoft M4. First thing I notice about this guy, it's a Lancer Tactical, and it seems to have a full metal rail. I believe the body is plastic. Is this gas blowback? What? This gas blowback? Yo, I did not expect that. That is crazy. Look at the bolt going all the way outside of the airsoft gun. Oh my gosh. We are missing an entire stock. I think maybe this is it. Yep, there's the stock. That's gonna be very interesting to see if that thing works. I am very curious. First thing that stands out to me is obviously a huge hole in the background. It did come with the stock, of course, and you could easily screw it back in, but I think we're missing some type of springs and a lot more parts, to be honest with this guy. I'm not the hugest gas blowback technician ever, so my knowledge on these is pretty slim, but I definitely do know we need a full new system to replace it in the upper right here, and that's of course if it's the only issue. This one's kind of toasted. Obviously here is what I would think the estimate is for a replacement bolt setup, but let's see if anything else might be broken, perhaps the trigger group or anything like that. Let's just take this thing apart and see if we can see anything crazy. All right, this looks to be pretty okay. I'm not 100% guaranteeing this to be working because obviously I'm not an expert with these type of things, but usually if it goes back, holds its place, the trigger resets, and you could actually pull the trigger. The trigger grouping is probably okay with this type of thing. Definitely need some replacement parts with this one. Probably here it is on screen of what we actually need to buy, but it doesn't look in the worst shape. Kind of seems to be working, so perhaps it's not the biggest deal that this thing had some issues. Let's see what else we got in the box, and of course if we could find a gas plug magazine for that one. Ooh, okay, we also have a full gas blowback pistol. Did not expect to see one of these either. Has a full magazine. It's green gas powered. It has some really cool blue accents and a little mount on the top that replaced the rear iron sight to actually put a red dot sight. So honestly, pretty cool. I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but these are super famous. These are pretty decent airsoft guns compared to a normal airsoft pistol. This thing is actually really big. Okay, let's see what happens when, oh, nope. When we pull back the bolt, we are having no luck whatsoever trying to get the bolt back. It is completely jammed, I think. Yeah, that is, and the trigger does not want to go off as well. Don't like to see that. My first instinct is to actually open it up and see what is going on inside here. So obviously with these type, you push in this little thing and then you can usually just take off the upper and lower. Oh, hello. Bolt seems to be completely okay, but the trigger does not actually activate the rest of the system here, which is not good. Usually that little silver thing would fly upward and make this thing go off, but let's go ahead and just see if I put this back on, if that will fix anything here. Yeah. Oh, wait. Oh. Okay, bolt is going back. This is clicking into place. This thing actually might work. That is a very good sign. All we need to do is take off the upper and lower and kind of reset the trigger grouping, all that stuff like that. Looks like that might have fixed it, but of course we don't know for sure. Let's test it out. All right, this is going to be a very interesting one to see if it works. Yo! All right, FPS is a little off, but that could just be normal. And the FPS was a little bit crazy at first, but looks to be getting a little bit more normal as we keep shooting it. About that 300 FPS mark with just below a joule. These, I believe, yep, have full auto. Let's check that out. Whoa. Okay, the full auto seems to be working pretty dang well. That's good. I don't think that's quite an accurate reading for the RPS. It sounds way faster. Let's go ahead and do one more little fill up and check out the real number. Alrighty, well, it looks like the best we're gonna get is about 8. Let's take it to shooting range and see if we can see any issues. So in today's shooting test for all the airsoft guns, we got a little bit of a weird distance. We have a target set up about 65 feet, and then we have another one set up about 165, 170 feet away. So a pretty good close in far range to test out all of the rifles that of course maybe or maybe not work.
What the hell was that? Don't know, it just fell out of this thing. That's kind of weird. So as you can see, the barrel system and everything is working pretty much as it's supposed to. No crazy accuracy issues whatsoever, but I already know off the bat, I tried to kind of mess with the hop-up in a whole bunch of weird ways. I took this thing apart as well. I just could be completely ignorant on how this hop-up design works, but from what I'm seeing when I take it apart, I'll show you guys real quick. It looks to be some prior damage from a previous owner about the hop-up system. I believe it was supposed to be right here, but there's like a huge marking right here. According to the website online, the hop-up is supposed to be on this side, and I don't even see it. And then on this side, it looks like there is obviously a location for a hop-up wheel right here, but it is gone. So I'm pretty sure the hop-up was damaged from the previous owner. Maybe that's what caused this thing to jam up originally. But just assuming all of that, we do need a new hop-up system for this one. But other than that, it looks to be shooting very well. The barrel seems to be doing all right. So basically the only thing we need to repair with this one is a new hop-up. Here is the actual price of it, brand new. And then of course, subtracting our cost of our hop-up. This is basically the present value of it. Of course, not taking into consideration the rest of the, wear and tear of this one. Obviously, it's probably not going to be worth that exactly, but we could just do that as an estimate for today's video.
And I believe there's one more airsoft gun in here. Ooh, what is this guy? This looks nice. Dang, this is so heavy. What the heck? Here's the original price of it on screen. I'm not sure exactly if it's like a $200 gun or a $400 gun. It's hard to tell, but just from the externals, this thing feels really solid. It's like absolutely so heavy for the actual size of this thing. It's a brick for sure. Full metal body, full metal gearbox, obviously. And I really like the bronze kind of like paint or whatever they used to cover this thing. It looks really nice with a two-tone look on this thing. Honestly, yeah, really cool with the M-LOK rail. It's a tiny little rail, of course, compared to normal airsoft guns, but it does take 9mm magazines, which is very interesting. This is electric as well. Got a full collapsible stock. It doesn't look to have any issues, but of course we're gonna need to go throw a battery in this one and see what is actually wrong with it. All right, we have arrived with our next airsoft gun. We're gonna be using some glasses here because this is the first one where could have a extra BB in the system, so I wanna make sure we are safe, of course. Guessing the battery is in, or sorry, battery connector is in here. Battery is indeed over here. It's a Tamiya connector. Hate to see that, hate to see that. Can't believe airsoft manufacturers are still including those. Again, the body is really nice for this one. Even if this doesn't work, this would be a great platform to use for a custom gun. Just use the shell of it. Really nice. Let's get our little bag of batteries right here. I don't know what kind of electronics are in this one. Let's go ahead and play it safe with a 9.6 volt here. Let's go ahead and see if it works. Again, you guys have probably seen a couple of these videos before. Sometimes when you plug in the battery, the thing starts doing full auto and you know the MOSFET's toasted. Let's go ahead and see what happens here. Motor is in there. Everything looks honestly pretty good. Let's see what happens. What? It actually works? Is there air coming out? All right, that's a good sign. Nothing really too bad about this one. The air seems to be pretty healthy coming out the nozzle right there. All right, let's just obviously see if it works in the chronograph now. That's kind of good news. Lucky for us, we have a whole bunch of different random mags to test out. One of these has got to work. Yeah, that sounds like it works. Ooh. Very consistent, just below a joule, and only 310 FPS. Pretty low, honestly. But of course, this is basically a pistol or submachine gun, whatever you want to call it. So that makes sense. About 12 rounds a second, very solid. No issues at all with this guy. Let's see if the shooting test brings out any other flaws.
The Nemesis up next, I believe that's how you pronounce this, like from Classic Army. See how this guy does. Okay, obviously easy at 65 feet, but the hop-up is not on whatsoever. I had this hop-up set to basically 9 out of 10, which is extreme hop. The BB should literally be going like straight up at this point, and as you can see from the run cam, they're maybe able to get 100 feet, 115 feet, give or take, and they just drop straight down. The hop-up is not turning on whatsoever. In my experience, I would guess it is either the hop-up system itself or the bucking or nub. So best case scenario, it's like a $5 nub or it's a $10 bucking, and then the hop-up can run maybe like $10 to $30 depending on which one you go for. So I'd say the issue at probably the worst, if you're really thinking about it, is probably about a $20 fix with this one. But overall, considering everything else, this is a pretty nice airsoft gun with just a little cheap fix. Nothing too bad, honestly. So overall, here's the price of this one right here, and here's the probably estimated fix, and here is our estimated profit.
All right, we got the big boy up next. 56 pounds for this one. Damn. Let's It's crazy. This box is so thick. Like the cardboard is crazy. Okay, so first up in the box, we have this guy peeking through. Let's go ahead and take this out and see what we can find out about you, my friend. Ooh, check this guy out. This is actually a pretty sick airsoft gun. As you can see, there is a Mayo logo right there. It's actually one of the employees of this company. And I think he has his own gun, or this is his own custom gun. I have no idea, but that is really cool. This is pretty sick though. I did not expect to get something this good. Oh yeah, and then even on this side, he has his own actual design on the lower rail right there. That is really badass. It's like a jar of mayonnaise because obviously his nickname is Mayo. It's pretty cool. It's got a really nice grip right here, a cool 4-hole trigger. It's got a really nice stock on here as well, a super long and nice rail, and a full body upper and lower with a really cool flash hider as well. This thing is actually pretty sick. Really curious to see what is wrong with this one. It's really hard to tell if this one's actually been used quite a bit. I would actually maybe vote maybe not, because there's some sticker residue left right here, which usually if you're using this a long time, you would just take off all the sticker residue. So I don't know, that's kind of weird. Let's go ahead and just take the Delta stock off and see how that works. This is a Gen 3 Lancer Tactical, so one of the really good generations from Lancer Tactical. This is when they started to get to be one of my favorite companies. For the price, obviously, these are really good. It has Deans, which is great to see. All right, let's go ahead and see how this works. All right, didn't go on full auto. It's a good sign. See if it shoots. All right, no luck on semi or full auto, and no noise at all. Might be the motor is stuck, or the electronics just might be burnt out. Go ahead and take out the motor real quick and see if we could find any other issues. We're gonna take off both of the connections on either lead. Seems to be probably an issue with the motor. This definitely is not supposed to be like that. It's like backwards. We'll go ahead and see if I can fix this real quick. All right, got this one all set up how it was from factory now. Let's go ahead and see if this actually will work. First thing is basically just to plug in the motor to the original tabs. We'll hold this guy up and see what happens. Here we go, 3, 2, 1. Ah. Damn, it doesn't spin the motor whatsoever. I think for this guy, the electronics are just fried, everybody. I think we are out of luck. Zion Arms Nebula electronics, I believe is what comes in here. Here's the retail price for one of those. That's pretty much all you need to do to fix this guy, I believe. So honestly, not the worst luck. I've seen worse. Diving into the second gun of the box. Ooh, we have a classic Army AG up next. It doesn't have any body pins, as you can see through the receiver right there. So that is generally not a good sign here. It's got a pretty standard M4 crane stock, nothing special back there. And I think the body is plastic as well, along with the upper as well. So it's a fully plastic airsoft gun. We're also missing the bolt thing right there. So yeah, not a great start with this one, but at least it's in one piece. Let's go check out what the heck is wrong with this guy. Nothing wrong with the hop-up barrel system up there. The upper seems to be okay. The gearbox looks in okay shape. The motor is still in there. Let's go ahead and just see what happens when I fire this guy up. All right, see if it shoots. Oh. Wow, that actually seems pretty healthy too. I did not expect that either. Very healthy air. The nozzle is going back and forth. Full auto and semi work. Nothing I could see, to be honest, that looks bad with this one. I think I see the issue now. Look at this. This whole part right here to hold in the front body pin is completely torn off. I completely missed out with the upper. I'm sorry, guys. That's so funny. Most likely you're probably gonna need another upper right here from Lancer Tactical, which is honestly not a terrible thing because it is plastic, so it's probably not too expensive. Here's the price on screen, roughly what it would cost to replace this part. It's honestly not too bad. That's of course if everything else works, but let's go ahead and test it out. All right, like I mentioned, the upper and lower are not very well on each other, so let's just see how this works. Ha! I knew it'd work. Very consistent as well, 336 FPS. And the RPS, off to a good start. Let's see if there's anything else to be worried about on the shooting range.
All right, so I'm not even gonna bother putting the stock on first one. I just wanna get an idea if this thing is working. Pretty funky guy, has no body pins whatsoever. This is gonna be a very interesting test. Oh, okay. No issues at all with the close test. Looks like the barrel is actually pretty good too. No issues with inaccuracy or any weird stuff like that. Let's now turn up the hop up, which, oh yeah, I forgot we don't have a bolt to pull back the dust cover, so we kind of have to just pick this thing open. This is so bad. All right, turn the hop up like that, I guess. See if this works. Not anything crazy for the groupings. Obviously, this isn't a super crazy airsoft gun, but it doesn't look like there's any real crazy issues. It's mainly just that the body itself broke in that part right here. So I would suggest getting a new upper. I don't know if that's very easy to replace. So there's the cost of what this thing actually would cost new. Here's the actual repairs, all of these stuff. Obviously, you're gonna have to get new body pins and repair and get a new upper part right here. But other than that, it looks to be in okay condition. So here's the actual profit, let's say, we got from this bad boy.
The third one up in this box, and we got this guy. What is this? Interesting. This one seems to be pretty good, solid, nothing really wrong with it. That I see it is of course, an MP5 style airsoft gun. Gotta love MP5s. I believe I have a MP5K right here. It's actually a gas blowback one, really cool. This one, of course, is electric though, and it does have the original tag that you would rip off from the company. Having that little tag right there gives me a little bit of an indication. This guy actually might be almost brand new, because why would they still have it on there? It might be me, but is the front kind of bent downward? I might be tripping, but I don't know. That's definitely a little bit wobbly for normal. Might just be the quality of it, but I don't know. The body itself feels decent. It's plastic, of course. Really unique stock for an MP5K. It's like a PDW type of stock. Pretty cool, actually. It looks pretty sweet on this guy as well. Also got a little bit of a different type of handguard for an MP5. It's not a stock one. Pretty sweet. And we do also have a magazine included. It is a mid-cap one. Looks pretty badass. Let's see if it fits in there or if it's a little bit messed up. Okay, there we go. Pretty sweet. Honestly, this thing is very unique. Let's actually see what the heck is wrong with it now. All right, it's MP5 time on the tech booth. Let's see what's wrong with this little guy. Battery's probably stored up here. Oh yeah, just tear it open right there. Interesting. So it's powered by Dean's, but whoever had this before opted to put a Dean's to Tamiya connector, which is a little funky, but hey, to each their own. Okay, didn't go off. Put it on semi and see what happens. Oh! That sounds really healthy too. Full auto. Wow, okay. So far, so good with this guy. Let's go ahead and throw it through the chronograph and see if there's any issues there. All right, let's do a 7.4 volt for this guy. See if this works. Wow. Very consistent FPS too, about that 340 with just above a joule. And the RPS, about 8 RPS with a 7.4 volt. Let's test it out with the 11.1 and see how it does. Here goes nothing. Damn. About 16, not bad.
Very curious to see how this guy will work. Weird hop up as well. I believe it's under here, and it's this little tiny kind of tab thing you pull and retract right there. Interesting. Haven't had too many MP5 builds in my life, so pretty new to me. We're using a 7.4 volt. Let's see how this guy shoots. Oh. Interesting. Okay, let's just take this off and leave it right there. So far, the hop up is weird. I had a couple shots that were really straight, and then now it's kind of looks like it's shooting down. So maybe the hop up is a little messed up. Never mind, that's pretty lasering to the target. Hop up is working really well. I think it's funny, the vibrations of it shooting actually make the hop up adjust itself weirdly. Obviously, I'm not going for precise accuracy here on the target, just kind of testing these to see if they work. But as you guys saw with that spread, there was quite a few shots that hit the target at easily about 170 feet away. So there's no real issues at all with the barrel hop up with this one at all. Kind of surprising, to be honest. I'm not too sure why this one was a boneyard one. I mean, the fire select is super stiff. Maybe there was something wrong with that. I don't know, but other than that, this thing looks to be working in pretty good condition. I'm not sure exactly what could be an issue with this one. So here's the original price of the airsoft gun itself. I don't think there was any major issues with this one, but here is the actual price to fix it if there was any issues. And here's, of course, our total profit as well. Overall, pretty lucky with this one. Let's go on to the next.
Let's see what we got for number 4 in here. Looks to be a dual-toned M4 from Lancer Tactical. This one actually looks pretty badass. It's got a M-lock rail, a tan Delta stock, as well as a tan pistol grip right there. Looks really nice with the black lower and upper receiver. Got some really cool, nice Lancer Tactical trades on this side with their awesome little sword and shield logo right there. Pretty sweet. Judging from the serial number I see right here, I believe this is maybe a Gen 2 Lancer Tactical, so it doesn't have the fancy, really good electronics from the Gen 3. I could be wrong on that. That's just from what I'm guessing because it says G2 in the serial number. remember, Lancer Tactical obviously came a long way from their Gen 2 and Gen 1s. I wasn't even honestly a fan of the company from their Gen 1s and Gen 2s, but their Gen 3s and Gen 4s are really good. That's when I really started to fall in love with the company and knew they were really up to something. I mean, hey, look, I have my own airsoft gun now that is a Gen 4 Lancer Tactical. That says a lot. I used to literally not even be a fan of this company when they had their Gen 1 and Gen 2, but ever since their Gen 3, I was a really big fan. And nowadays we actually have our own collaboration together with a Gen 4 Lancer Tactical. This is the W10 Widowmaker, my very own rifle. If you guys do want to get one of these, they are available at all authorized Lancer Tactical dealers. And if you guys want to see more details about my own airsoft gun, then go ahead and go to this video right here. But if you're in the price range for about that $360 airsoft gun, trust me guys, this is the best one to get. I've tested so many airsoft guns in my career, and of course it is mine and there is some bias there, but it is really good, trust me. I would have not partnered with Lancer Tactical if I did not really trust their company. So if you guys are interested, go check it out. But back to the old Lancer Tactical that I'm not a bigger fan of. But yeah, this guy is actually pretty decent from the external standpoint. It's got a full metal lower and upper, a full metal rail as well with a nice dual tone look like I mentioned. But honestly, this thing does look pretty good, not really in bad shape whatsoever. I'm actually really curious to see what is wrong with this guy. Let's go check it out. So, not sure what is wrong with this guy. Let's check it out. Nothing weird when plugging in the battery. Does it shoot? Oh. It tried to shoot. Maybe it's a motor issue. It tried to shoot there. That makes me have some faith. Let's go ahead and see what we can find in here. All right. Doesn't seem to have any like stripped gears from what it looks like from up here. Obviously really hard to tell from outside the gearbox. Let's just go ahead and plug in the electronics. Okay, here we go. Oh. And auto. There is smoke coming outside the gearbox. What? Smoke coming out of an airsoft gun could be from a few different things. Usually it's if something's wrong with the motor, the electronics are burnout, or simply the gearbox is locked up and creates a lot of friction and maybe some heat and energy and creates some smoke. But because we isolated the motor out of the gearbox, we know it's not the locked up gearbox. And obviously the smoke was seeping out from here, which is basically right where the electronics sit in the gearbox, kind of like right there. So I'm willing to bet that the electronics got shorted out or are completely burnt out, and that's the main issue. But these aren't some crazy fancy electronics, so here's the price on screen to replace that. Nothing too crazy. Number 5 up next. Let's check it out. What the heck? Did not expect that. Not exactly 100% sure if this is the right model, but from what I know about guns, I'm pretty sure this is an MP40 style airsoft gun. That is sick. This is probably one of my favorite airsoft guns to use when I used to play War Zombies back when I was a kid. I never played it when it came out, but of course, as I got older, I started to play the zombies in that game. Shout out to my favorite map on that game, Rise, where you would camp on that little bridge. It was super fun. And obviously this gun is known in that game to be a huge point maker or money maker, so you can buy different guns in the game. Really cool. We got a folding metal stock. Most of the body, it seems to be a full metal design. It is decently heavy. It's not overbearing, but it is a pretty chunky boy. The pistol grip itself is a little kind of cheap feeling with the plastic on there. There's a little bit of scratches on the side right there, but honestly nothing super bad. We of course have the little connector for the battery just kind of peering out right there. We do indeed have an included magazine, which is nice. It is a full metal one as well. That's a little weird. Why isn't it clicking in? Oh, I think I put it in backwards. There we go, my bad. Let's go see if it at least works now. Alrighty, MP40, huh? This one should be exciting. Really hoping this thing works. These things are really cool. I'm just gonna plug this in and see what happens. And nothing. Oh. Alrighty, interesting. You can actually see that the this type of gearbox, the motor actually goes into the back of it instead of from the bottom like version 2 gearboxes. Very interesting. The motor looks to be attached on either side, so it's not like the motor connectors or anything like that got unattached. Let's go ahead and throw another try at this. Maybe it's like the body itself pinching itself or something like that. Let's try one more time. Most likely it's just the fuse or electronics that actually burn out with this guy, which again isn't a huge issue. Really cheap to replace with this type of gearbox, but the issue is getting to the gearbox. Obviously you need some technical skills to get in and replace the actual electronics. Here's a price for what that would probably cost up top. Number six, what do we got here? All right. Looks to be a fully plastic, I believe Gen 1 or Gen 2 Lancer Tactical M4. This thing has so much dust on it, it's been sitting in a warehouse probably for years, if I were to be honest. The externals don't look super bad besides it being super dusty. The charging handle right there is not in the best shape. It's kind of like stuck open or whatever, if you want to call it that. Internals are in there, so that's a good sign. Honestly, it's hard to tell without shooting it. It's just a standard Lancer Tactical M4, nothing to really write home about here. Sometimes these old airsoft guns are surprisingly reliable, so let's go check it out and see how it does. Let's go ahead and pull this guy off. I think this is a Gen 2, if I'm not mistaken. The electronics look pretty normal back here. Do we have a motor in here? We do. That's a good sign. No crazy like issues that look to be bad. I'm guessing it's either gonna be an electronic thing or maybe the motor. Take our trusty 9.6 here, see what happens. All right, so far so good. Let's see if it shoots. Whoa. Wow, no issues at all. Damn, okay, it doesn't seem to have any issues. Maybe this one just works or had a little jam up and now it just got unjammed. Who knows? It's been sitting around for quite a long time with all that dust. As you can see, that is insane. That's kind of nasty. But let's go ahead and get this thing to the chronograph and see how it does. Wow, no issues. About 390 FPS in the full auto. About 6.5, again, 9.6 volt battery.
Lancer Tactical Gen 2. Let's see if this thing has any issues. So far at the chrono, no big things to note. Let's check it out. Pop-up is negative. Let's try to turn it on. Easily able to have some good accuracy. Obviously, it's only 70 feet away. Decent trigger response, nothing to note that's out of the ordinary here. Basically turn up the hop up to max. Oh. We are getting some hop, but nothing crazy. I believe it is working. Let's check out a little bit more. All right, hop up is working as well. Really surprised on this one. And honestly, shoots pretty damn good. So here's the original price of this one. Obviously, you can maybe clean this thing up and polish the inside a little bit, but honestly, it's not really having any big issues. So pretty much just pure profit with this one.
Oh boy, lots of parts in here, not looking good. This is number 7, it looks like, though. Ooh, we got our first AK of the video. Our first version 3 gearbox, of course, as well. And we are fully missing the upper part right here. Of course, it might be in the box, I think. Maybe not, I don't know. But this thing doesn't look in super abused shape by any means. I've seen a whole bunch of these AKs at the field with these like flip down like foregrips that are a little weird looking. But hey, to each their own. There's, of course, a little bit of wear with the fire select. So this one's definitely not brand new. But yeah, nothing super crazy on this one that it looks like it's broken. Honestly, one way to figure out, let's go and test it out and see what it does. A lot of M4s. Obviously, as you guys know, Airsoft is dominated by M4s, so good to see a little AK mixed in. There's not a lot of crazy damage done to this thing. Of course, only one way to figure out. Okay, did not spray on full auto. That's a good idea. See how it goes. Oh! Wow, does this thing just work? Wow, okay. I might have just gotten lucky here. So the thing itself sounds pretty healthy. I can't really complain about how that thing is shooting whatsoever. We didn't have to mess with the motor or anything like that. Actually, fun fact, the motor is right here in a case as well. So maybe it's something to do with the hop up barrel, maybe some FPS inconsistencies, or something along the lines of the externals. Oh, now that I mentioned the externals, there is a little bit of a huge gap missing right there, or not gap, but like a piece missing. Maybe when I go to put on the upper with this thing, let's see what happens. All right, so we have the other pieces we found in there. Basically, this front piece wants to go in there. Coincidentally, right where it's broken, that's not necessarily the most ideal thing. Basically, this hides in there, so this will actually be able to hold the entire upper part of the AK, so you can hide a battery in there. But the issue is, it looks like that part is kind of broken from what it looks like. You could obviously probably figure out a solution for that, but the issue with this one is probably that the top can't be secured, so the battery's gonna be all weird. But let's actually, first, before we draw our conclusions too much, see if the actual rest of it works by doing a chronograph and shooting test. Alrighty, it's AK time. Will it have any issues? Wow, really healthy high FPS, just below 400. And the RPS, of course, isn't very high. We are still using a 9.6, but healthy FPS. No issues so far.
So as you guys know, the big problem with this one is there's no top portion to it. And obviously it's kind of broken right here. So a little tricky. We're gonna have to hold the battery basically and hope it doesn't snap off. Maybe I could just easily overlay it on the stock here. That was my plan. Looks a little funky, but that's what we're gonna have to go with. No issues at all, of course, with the closer target. Accuracy seems to be a-okay. And as you can see, easily able to hit 160, 70 feet away with the hop up turned up. I'd say about 75% on. BBs are easily floating to that long range target, and we're not even turning the hop up all the way up. I'd say we're like, actually, honestly, we're probably like 60% turned up, not even like just above halfway, pretty good. So I'd say if you really want to, you could probably skyrocket this thing easily past 200 feet away, no issues. So obviously the only issue with this one is being able to put that top piece on, which obviously is pretty important, but I'm sure if you're tech savvy, you could easily fix that. It's a little hard to say what the labor would cost with that one, but let's say $30 max to fix it. Here's the original price of the gun and the $30 to subtract to fix the issue. Here's our total profit for the actual gun itself. Again, not too bad with this one again. Let's move on to the next and see if we continue to get lucky.
For number 8, it looks like we have this guy. Oh, okay, interesting. Another two-toned Airsoft M4 full metal rail. Actually, really crazy looking rail. Really nice, honestly. Got a full metal upper and lower on this one. A nice Delta stock. And I think this one might be a Gen 2 Lancer Tactical, hard to tell. Really cool little like built-in suppressor, if you want to call it that. Honestly, pretty badass looking M4. Nothing to really complain about here. Really cool rail. I think that one is pretty sick. It almost reminds me of like a 416 like modernized rail, but like longer, actually. Pretty sweet. Overall, it doesn't look in the worst shape. Definitely some damage at the end on the suppressor. But now let's go ahead and see if this thing actually shoots. Surprised that this thing will actually work. Let's test it out. Oh. Oh. Air's coming out. It's at least shooting. Sounds really unhealthy though. Well, it shoots, but it definitely does not sound too healthy. I'm really curious to see what the actual chronograph is going to be because, yeah, I mean, it does work. Air is coming out of the barrel and everything, but yeah, that is really unhealthy sounding. So it might just be old and need a refresh, or it's just the FPS is super low, or who knows. Let's just go see and test it out. All right, no issues with the FPS. Check out the full auto now. This is only with a 9.6 volt. Yep, no issues with the full auto either. Obviously not very fast, but it does work.
Really curious to see how this one is going to do on the shooting test. Let's check it out. First up. Ooh. No issues at all. Accuracy looks a little funky, but nothing really too bad. All right, cranking the hop up a little bit for this Gen 2. Let's check it out, see how if it works. Yup. BBs are skyrocketing above the green box over there. That's about 170 feet away. No issues at all with the hop up, actually working really well. But I do have to note, the gun sounds definitely not very healthy. Honestly, pretty solid groupings for this guy, even for being so beat up. But I definitely have to say the main reason with this one is definitely a little bit screechy. Obviously, it just could be like that from stock, or it could just be from wear and tear over the years from the internals just kind of suffering. But honestly, it shoots really well. There's nothing to really complain about, to be honest. It's just, I would be very concerned maybe over time this thing wearing out and breaking a piece in the internals. It just definitely sounds pretty unhealthy. Again, it could be just the motor height or something like this, but most likely it's something in the inside is probably going to wear out pretty quick and blow up. But until that moment happens, it's actually shooting pretty good. Here's the original value, of course, brand new. Obviously, this thing is not even close worth what the brand new price is, but we didn't really have any big issues. I mean, it's actually missing the bolt release right there, so there's some parts that are missing for this one, but overall pretty decent condition, so nothing too crazy with this one. Let's go into the next and see if we continue with our luck.
Let's go ahead and go over the last one of the video. Oh, and that is interesting. We have a Lancer Tactical yet again. This one actually feels really nice quality. What is this guy? The rail is super nice, full metal M-LOK rail. It says Predator on there. Here's the actual make and model right there. But I believe this is powered by Gate, has some really nice trades on this one. I think this is definitely a Gen 3 or Gen 4 Lancer Tactical. Got a really nice lower, really nice upper. Yep, Gen 4 right there on the body. So this one's gonna shoot very good, of course, if it does shoot. We don't know what the issue is. The motor grip is fully open. Don't want to see that. Probably something with the motor being the main issue with this guy. But overall, this one feels super solid. That's why it felt really nice. It is a Gen 4, and these things are built very nice. Let's just go ahead and see if it shoots, and if it does, I'll be very happy. These are pretty badass. Let's go ahead and first isolate the motor and see if that actually is going to be part of the problem. That's what I'm guessing is the issue with this one. Obviously, I don't know. It could be something else. Let's go ahead and take the tabs off, take out the motor here. Let's go ahead and plug in a 7.4 volt LiPo and see how it does. Oh, wow, that's a strong motor, damn. It works sometimes. And the other times it doesn't work and it beeps. Some kind of maybe software error with this guy. Really weird. Let's go ahead and throw the motor back in here. I want to try to see what happens when we have it in the system. All right. Sounds healthy. Nozzles going back and forth. No issues. Air feels good. Weird. I have no idea, but that sounds healthy to me. Let's go ahead and throw a magazine in this thing and see how it does. Chronograph with the Gen 4. Oh, that's probably what's wrong. That's not good. Maybe the magazine's not good. All right, that mag didn't work. Let's try an EPM. These are always good. Oh, all right. Well, I'm guessing this one, the issue is actually gonna have to do with the bucking, hop up, or barrel, not the actual lower, which is really interesting. All right, let's go ahead and dive in and see what's wrong. All right, let's take off this upper and see what the heck's going on. Alrighty, hop up is turned up crazy for this. The bucking looks to be like maybe ripped, because when I adjust the hop up dial, nothing really happens here, which is not ideal. Let's go ahead and take all this out and try to fix it. My guess is the hop up bucking is stripped, or the hop up nub got messed up or stuck into place and it wasn't really letting BBs properly feed up. To test my theory, we're gonna swap in another barrel and hop up system just to see if that is going to be the issue, and we can isolate our problem and figure that out real quick. Let's use this Lancer Tactical that was unfortunately not in the best place here with the electronics to see if we can swap the barrel and hop up in there to see if we could fix our issue. Alrighty, this is definitely not the smoothest I've ever done it, but we just gotta do what we gotta do in today's video. Throw in a Gen 3 barrel and hop up in a Gen 4 one. Let's see how that goes. This is gonna be interesting. I'm very curious to see if this will work out. All right, well, let's get a battery in here and see if that fixes our issue. Can't believe that worked. Noticing a little bit of inconsistency on full auto with it not properly feeding. Could be something to do with the old Lancer Tactical Gen 3 setup in there, not working properly with the Gen 4 setup. Or maybe something is kind of old with the old setup and just not meshing well. There's a lot of different reasons, but at least we got it to feed a healthy FPS and actually feed BBs. But it does confirm our thesis. The issue was basically the hop up bucking most likely, or hopping nub, which is a really easy fix. Probably basically the cheapest thing you could possibly fix on an airsoft gun. So that's great news for us. That means we've got a almost brand new Gen 4 for like 50 bucks. That's crazy. For just fixing a little tiny like $5 part. But of course, there could be still something else on these shooting tests. So let's go ahead and see if we could find any other issues. Very excited for this one. We get to use a 11.1 volt with these shooting tests. Let's see how this puppy does. If there's any weird issues we could see from these shooting tests, or simply just got really lucky and got a crazy nice airsoft gun for $50. Let's check it out. Yeah, no issues at all, of course. The trigger response is amazing. Check out the hop up and see if that's working correctly. Yep. Easy, able to get the target. I can't even really see the BB. Super sunny today. And yeah, I barely just a hop up, probably about halfway up right now. And we're easily able to hit that target about 175 feet away. No issues at all. I mean, this thing is so good. I cannot believe we got this thing for $50. That's insane. Do a little bit full auto because we can. Every single BB like hits the target. This thing is so consistent, really nice. The internals on the Gen 4 is absolutely amazing. But yeah, basically no issues with this one. Very surprised. I thought it was gonna be maybe a software bug or a bigger issue with this one, but yeah, really just got lucky with this one. Here's the original price of this guy, and of course, we didn't really have to fix too much, and it's not in a bad shape whatsoever. So basically just got away with this one scot-free. But now that we've shot all of the ones in the video, let's do a huge actual profit and loss statement with all of the airsoft guns. So if this is the total amount I paid for everything in the video.
And then here is the amount we have to spend in repairs. So that amount is our first initial profit. But of course, that number looks pretty good, but these airsoft guns aren't in brand new condition. So taking that into consideration, let's just pick a percent that I think you can actually sell these airsoft guns, probably something along the lines of like 30 to 60% off of its actual value. So giving an average, here's probably the actual profit we were able to make in today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys did enjoy this one. If you want to see another awesome airsoft video that's recommended just for you that I think you would enjoy if you enjoyed this video, here's that video right there. Without further ado, guys, I'll catch you guys in the next airsoft video.